morning, everyone. On behalf of Red Deer College and MSM Media, I would like to welcome you all to the RDC MSM Premium Agent E-Summit Series for 2020. I'm Karishma Chaudhary, Manager Canada at MSM Media. On April 16, RDC marked the official launch as an MSM partner institution. Yes, that means RDC now, which is now on its way to the university status, is actively welcoming more international students to its campus in Alberta, Canada. For 56 years, RDC has been proudly serving its learners and communities. The college continues to grow programs, facilities, and opportunities as it transitions to become a comprehensive regional teaching university during the next 3 to 5 years. RDC has a variety of different programs to challenge and inspire and prepare students for the future. RDC, together with MSM, is happy to have you all here for an hour of ultimate knowledge-oriented session to help you boost your student recruitment practices. RDC works closely with the carefully selected and approved group of agent partners to achieve its goal of internationalization. Well, before we get to the exciting part, I would like to let you know that if you are having any question related to RDC, please do not hesitate to drop it in the Q&A section in your control panel. And if you're having any technical question, then please drop it in the chat box. I know everyone is curious and interested to learn more about RDC, its program offerings, its state-of-art facilities on campus, and its welcoming local community. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce Ms. Shelby Pombridge, Director for International Education at RDC. Shelby, over to you.
Thank you, Karishma. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us here today to learn a little bit more about Red Deer College. I'm excited to present to you all more information about our programs and what our community and our campus has to offer. So we have about 40 minutes that we'll spend together today, and then we will move on to a period of question and answer. So without further ado, I just would like to share with you the beautiful photo on the screen here today. This is just a photo of our campus that shows a few of our major buildings. Our campus is actually even larger than what you can see in the photo. So I have a few more photos throughout the presentation to show you a little bit more about what our campus is like. To start off with, I just wanted to share with you some basic information about Red Deer College. So Red Deer College, or what we will be calling it RDC, is a public comprehensive community college, and it is recognized by the Government of Canada as a designated learning institution. And we do offer programs that are post-graduation work permit eligible. So what this means is when our students are graduating from our programs, if they are interested in a path to work in Canada, they are able to apply for a postgraduate work permit. We have approximately 7,500 students, full-time and part-time, and out of that number, approximately 200 international students currently. Over the next couple of years, we are interested in welcoming even more international students to our campus to enjoy our programs and enjoy our city. One thing that I wanted to point out that you'll see here on this screen is almost 100%. So 96% of our graduates are satisfied with the quality of their education, and over 90% of our graduates find employment within 6 months of finishing their program. So a couple of highlights that I wanted to share with everyone in terms of why international students love RDC. Often international students find our smaller class sizes to be very helpful for them to get used to the new culture, to make friends and get to know their instructors. So typically at Red Deer College, all of our classes would be approximately 40 students or less. We have a focus on hands-on learning. So what this means is the students will be learning the theory and then applying what they know through projects and hands-on work. And many of our programs even have a practicum component. So that is when the student would be going out into the community and to work and be employed in their career of choice as a part of their program. And that is something that the college helps them arrange. As I mentioned as well, we have a high focus on the employability of graduates. So as I mentioned on the previous screen, we have very high levels of employment for our graduates after they are finishing their programs. And of course, our international students do really enjoy our modern and high quality facilities, and they enjoy learning on our campus, absolutely. So I wanted to share with you a few photos of our campus just to share with you what the international student will be able to experience when they come to Red Deer College. Okay, so the photo that you see on the screen now, hopefully everything's okay. I was having a little bit of a delay with my connection. So the photo that you see on the screen now, this is the Red Deer College Library. As you can see, it's a beautiful and modern space, 2 floors that the top floor is equipped with books and learning materials, and the bottom floor is equipped with computers that the students are able to use, as well as study spaces. This second photo here is just another photo of our campus that is highlighting some of the great open spaces that we have for students to study, enjoy company with friends, that sort of thing on campus. The other thing that I wanted to speak with you all about today was the lower cost of living that international students enjoy in Red Deer compared to other larger cities. So what I've highlighted here on the screen for you is the cost of rent in Red Deer compared to other large cities in Canada, such as Vancouver and Toronto. So when students are considering coming to Canada, many of them are concerned about the cost of living. You know, in addition to their tuition, of course, they're interested in how much it will cost to rent, to live, etc. So this is just an example of how much lower the cost of living is in Red Deer compared to the larger cities. So for a 1-bedroom apartment in Red Deer, the student can find something for under $1,000 Canadian, which is a great way for them to save money. And you know, assuming another great feature of studying in Canada is that students are also able to work up to 20 hours per week. So it makes the experience of learning in Canada much more affordable for the student when they choose to come to a smaller city like Red Deer. I also wanted to just share with everyone today that we do have some fantastic options for students who are interested in living on campus. So we have multiple different versions of what we call student residences, and these are homes that the students can live in while they're studying at Red Deer College. They're extremely affordable. And depending on the students' preferences, they are able to either live in a single studio suite just on their own, or they can share a space and live in a house with a couple of roommates to share costs. And the cost of living on campus can be anywhere from about $2,000 to $3,500 per term. So that's not per month, per term. It would be, for example, if it was the fall term, that would be the cost from living on campus from September to middle of December. A couple more things to note: that the residence on campus at Red Deer College does not include a meal plan. So the students are responsible for getting their own food and cooking their own meals. Another thing to note is that if you have a student who is interested in living on campus at Red Deer College, they need to indicate this at the time when they apply. So this is something that Monica, our representative who helps everyone out with their admissions to Red Deer College, would be able to advise on at the time when the application is submitted. So before moving on, I just wanted to share a couple of photos with you to highlight the beautiful spaces that we have here on campus. So the 2 photos that you see on the screen are photos of our student residence or our student dorms. This is our newest building, and I just love to show photos of it because it's so beautiful. The picture on the right-hand side of the screen is what the student units look like. As you can see, they're equipped with a nice TV, a beautiful bed, desk, and kitchen area for the student to have their own private apartment. So if students are not interested in living on campus, they of course have other options. They're able to find a rental in the community, and the rent for a shared apartment, if you're splitting it with a roommate, could be anywhere from $400 to $800 a month. And we do have a homestay program. So if students are interested in living with a local family during their stay, we absolutely can facilitate that through the Canada Homestay Network. And that is a great way if students are a little bit nervous about living on their own. Living with a family is a great way to get to know the area and get to know the city, and always have someone there to, you know, give you a hand. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about Red Deer, Red Deer College. I want to talk a little bit more about the city of Red Deer. So the students are, often love coming to our city. We are located in the province of Alberta. So you see our location highlighted on this image here on the screen. We're located right in between the two largest cities in the province of Alberta. We're right in between Edmonton and Calgary. So Edmonton has an international airport, and so does Calgary. So that's typically where international students are flying into. And it's approximately an hour and a half from both of those major centers. Another great thing about our location is our proximity to the mountains. So lots of students, when they come to Canada, are interested to go to the mountains to see how beautiful they are. Perhaps they even are interested in skiing and doing other outdoor activities. We're only a short drive away from the mountains. You can get there in about 2 to 2.5 hours, and there's plenty of activities that the students can enjoy to really get the full Canadian experience. A few more pieces of information about our city. We have a population of approximately 100,000 individuals. And for lots of our students, that was probably, might be very small compared to what they are used to, but we are actually the 4th largest city in Alberta. The photo that you see on the top of the screen just highlights the natural beauty of our city. It's taken in the season of fall. So in Red Deer, we have 4 seasons. We have spring, summer, fall, and winter. We have many outdoor activities that the students are able to engage in the city. And we also have a high level of representation in terms of diversity in our city. So over 40 countries and over 110 different languages represented. Just to introduce those that are here today for this Premium eSummit to the city of Red Deer, I have a video that I'd like to share with you to just show off our city and some of the highlights of living in Red Deer. Okay, so I hope that video helped everybody get a sense of what it's like to live in Red Deer. It's a beautiful city, and our campus mirrors that beauty. So it's a great place for students to consider to come and study. So the next portion of the presentation, we're going to talk specifically about programs that students are able to apply and register for at Red Deer College. So a great thing in terms of timing for this presentation is the applications are open for the winter semester. So the winter semester would be starting on January 4th of the year 2021. And the application deadline is October 15th. So there isn't a lot of time left, but definitely encourage all students who are interested in coming to Red Deer College, get your applications in as soon as possible. We have a few programs that are available to start in the winter term, which I've listed on the screen. And we're going to talk about each of them individually a little bit throughout the remainder of the presentation. So during the question and answer period, please feel free to ask any questions that you might have about these programs. As of the current moment, there are seats available in all of these programs for international students. Okay, so starting off with our business administration program. This is a 2-year diploma. We are looking for an IELTS score of 6.5 overall with 5.5 on each band. This is a program that would make students eligible for a 3-year postgraduate work permit after graduating. One great thing about this program is the students learn about general business during the first year, and then in the second year, they're able to specialize and select a major. So they can choose to major in accounting, financial services, general management, human resources, or marketing. So throughout our program, we see students graduating from our business administration program going into a wide range of different positions in our community and across Canada, anything from being a financial planner, working as an administrative assistant, payroll administrator, a very wide range of potential employment opportunities for students when they're finished this program. So it's great. It's very popular with our international students as well. Next, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our early learning and childcare program. So we offer both a 2-year diploma and a 1-year certificate in early learning and childcare. So the program focuses on broadening knowledge of early childhood education and prepares graduates for careers in the fields working with children. So examples of what students could do after graduating from this program would be becoming a childcare supervisor, working as a family day home provider, or even working in a school alongside children there. As I mentioned, this slide is just highlighting the 1-year certificate. So essentially the first year of the program is the same. And then if the student chooses to continue on, they're able to do so by completing a full 2 years and getting a diploma. So it's a great option for individuals that are interested in working with children. There is a high demand for these types of positions right now in Alberta. So it's a great career option for students. Next, I'd like to tell you about our Educational Assistant Program. It is a 1-year certificate and it prepares students for a rewarding career as educational assistants. So this would basically allow students to work in what we call the K-12 sector or the primary sector. So it would be working to support the teacher in the school system, working with students with disabilities, or maybe students that have special needs in the classroom. So again, this is a great program and students are able to come into Red Deer College and complete that within 1 year. Another type of program that I wanted to take a moment to highlight that we have available at Red Deer College is a university transfer program. So essentially what that means is that a student who is interested in completing a full bachelor's degree could come to Red Deer College in order to complete the first 2 years of their program. A couple of really popular programs that we see students interested in is the Bachelor of Arts and the Bachelor of Science. So the student comes to Red Deer College, completes the first 2 years of, let's say, the Bachelor of Arts program, and then transfers to another institution in Alberta or anywhere in Canada in order to complete the last 2 years of their bachelor's program. So students might be interested in doing this because they can enjoy the smaller location of Red Deer, they can enjoy the lower cost of living, and really have an opportunity to acclimatize to Canada and our learning system in a smaller environment before transferring over to the larger universities. So it's a really great option for students who are interested in a full bachelor's degree, but still would like to start at Red Deer College. Another really great feature that we offer is that when students are finished with their university transfer program, as long as they've completed 60 credits or about 20 courses, we actually give them a diploma. If they've done that amount of work with Red Deer College, we grant them what's called a diploma in university transfer studies. So if there's any questions about how these programs work, I invite you to bring them up during the Q&A section of our presentation today. Okay, and this slide is just highlighting that students who are interested in different paths all can find a place to start at Red Deer College. So students can choose to come into an RDC program that is maybe 1 or 2 years, graduate with their credential and immediately go into the workforce. Or students who are interested in a longer range program, such as a bachelor's degree, can still start here at Red Deer, transfer to a university to complete the final years of their program, and then after they've completed a full bachelor's degree, enter into the workforce. Okay, so we're going to take a brief moment to talk a little bit about admissions. So as an international student, there's 2 elements that will need to be satisfied in order to be admitted to a Red Deer College program. The international student will have to prove that they meet the English language proficiency requirements, and they'll also have to prove that they meet the academic program requirements. So as the agents helping students apply, it's very important that you have a look at our website, review the academic program requirements and the English language proficiency requirements for the program that the student is interested in applying for. So this slide just talks about the different ways in which students can demonstrate their English language proficiency. So there are a few additional items that aren't reflected here on the slide. So in COVID, we are accepting the Duolingo language test and also the online IELTS indicator test. But under normal circumstances, we accept the scores you see listed for several different English language proficiency tests, including TOEFL and IELTS being the most popular. The other option is if the student has completed some of their secondary or post-secondary schooling, at least 3 years in English, we would also allow this as a method for them to demonstrate their English language proficiency. So I wanted to really quickly go over the process of applying to be a student at Red Deer College. I'm going to talk really briefly about fees as well while we're on this page. So of course, if you're interested in applying to Red Deer College, I would encourage you to start your application as soon as possible. As I mentioned before, the applications for the winter term are currently open, but they do close on October 15th. So make sure you write that date down and get your application in before that. Our colleague Monica from the MSM team is going to be able to assist you. The agents will need to help the students complete an application and email it along with all of their supporting documents to the email address listed on the screen. The team will then review the application that has submitted. There may be some back and forth where they clarify any documentation that is required, and everything is forwarded to our office here at Red Deer College. If the applicant meets both academic and English language proficiency requirements, and if there's a seat available, they will be issued their letter of acceptance. At the time when they get their letter of acceptance, the student may pay their tuition deposit and continue on with the process of applying for their study permit. So after the student has their paperwork complete and they're preparing to come to Red Deer College, we do still need a few pieces of official documentation. That would include a copy of their study permit, and we would also need to see their official transcripts. So before I move on from this slide and talk a little bit more about official documentation, I just wanted to discuss fees briefly. So the application fee to apply to Red Deer College is $200. And once a student is accepted, in order to secure their seat, they need to pay a tuition deposit, which is $1,400. If the student is denied their study permit, they're able to get a refund of $1,000. So there's a small cancellation fee, but if the student is able to prove that they were denied their study permit, they are able to get a refund on the vast majority of their tuition deposit. Okay, so again, as I mentioned, we do need to see official transcripts in order to completely check the last box for the student. So just to clarify, the student will be able to get their letter of acceptance at the time when we're able to assess scanned transcripts. But at the time when the student is about to begin their classes, we need to make sure that we've seen official transcripts. There's a few ways that we can receive the transcripts. One would be having the institution mail the documents directly to us at Red Deer College. That information is available on our website. Some primary and secondary schools have options where we are able to log in online in order to verify the transcripts online. So if you're able to provide login information, we're happy to access that information online. Or the third option is when the student comes to Red Deer College in person, they bring with them their transcripts in a sealed envelope directly from the institution. Okay, so this is bringing us to the end of the formal presentation. So we have lots of times for questions today. I have one more video that I would like to share with you all. Before we move on to questions, this is a message from the president of Red Deer College welcoming international students onto our campus.
Hello, I'm Dr. Peter Ninoda and I'm president at Red Deer College. I'd like to welcome you to Canada and especially RDC. We are so excited that you've decided to come to Red Deer and learn with us. We have a great international students team here to help you along your educational journey. Our dynamic campuses and comfortable residents will make you feel right at home. Your classmates and instructors are here to help you succeed, so welcome. We're so happy to have you here studying with us at Red Deer College.
Okay, so thank you everybody for your attention. I am looking forward to hearing everybody's comments and questions. So I believe my colleague Karishma will be coming back online to facilitate the question section of our presentation today.
Thank you, Shelby, for such a wonderful presentation. And I request all the attendees, if you're having any question, please put in the Q&A section. We will now answering your questions. So we'll be coming to the first question. Is there any conditional, offer letters we are providing at this current time? Conditional offer letter on the academic or on the basis of the English proficiency test?
So at this time, our focus is on providing students with full admission letters. So at this time, we're not issuing conditional letters. Depending on what the student's situation is, they should be able to complete an English language test with our online options. And we are hoping that with the, students are able to get their transcripts from their schools relatively soon. So at this time, we are only offering full acceptance letters.
Right. Thank you, Shelby. And Shelby, can we accept, 5.5 band in more than one module?
Yes, that should be fine as long as the overall score is 6.5 and there is no band that is lower than 5.5.
Okay. So there is one student who is inquiring about the Jan 21 intake. Are we opting to accept application for Jan 21?
Yeah, absolutely. We encourage students to apply for January 2021. There are several programs that are currently open for that intake. So the student might potentially be interested in our business administration program or perhaps our early learning and childcare. So Monica would be able to absolutely help that student along with the agent get their application in. A few other things to consider about the January term is, of course, with the situation with COVID, we are waiting to see how things progress in terms of our availability and our ability to offer classes on campus again. But it is absolutely our intention and our hope that we will be returning to in-person classes in January. And we also just wanted to reassure the students that when they are planning to travel to Canada in order to start their program in January, we are going to be providing support to that student to make sure they're able to get through their 14-day quarantine period. So as many of you will know, the Government of Canada has a current regulation that any newcomer to Canada must quarantine or self-isolate for a period of 14 days. And Red Deer College will help all of our students with that process. So we're going to ensure that the student is getting picked up from the airport, has accommodations for the 14 days through the self-isolation, has access to food and what they need, and then they'll be able to go off, find their permanent accommodations and get ready to start their classes. So the student can rest assured that we will help them with that process in January.
Right, thank you, Shelby. Shelby, what is the IELTS requirement or the Duolingo requirement for, current scenario? Like we are accepting Duolingo and IELTS indicator score as well. So what is the minimum score which is acceptable?
Okay, just give me one moment. I'm just bringing up the page.
Right.
Karishma, can we come back to that question? I'm just the website is just giving me a little bit of trouble, and I'm needing to reload the page. So can we come back to that question in a few moments?
Yes, Shelby, we can proceed. And if there's some problem, Monica will be answering the question as well from the backend.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So Shelby, coming to our next question is about the requirement of mathematics for the program, like for which program their mathematics is mandatory to have, and if the student does not have studied mathematics, what options are available for those students to get enrolled in programs?
Sure. So math is a requirement to get enrolled into some of our programs. The business program is typically the one that we get asked about. So if a student has not taken mathematics, we do have an option for them. They would be able to complete entrance testing in order to demonstrate their proficiency in math, and that would be a pathway for them to enter into the business program. So it's a very simple process. It's all done online. The student is able to take a simple math test, even if they haven't taken math throughout their secondary schooling, and use that as a pathway to get into the business program.
Okay, thank you, Shelby. And the next question, Shelby, is about the request for change of agent. So do we, accept such kind of the request? And at what stage, if yes, then at what stage we can, accept such requests from the student or agent?
So typically we do not accept a change of agent only under extenuating circumstances. So typically the student is not able to change agents once they've already applied to Red Deer College.
Okay, thank you. And again, I'm just getting a question regarding the intake. I just, telling that January intake is open right now, and very soon we will be opening for May intake as well. From 1st of the August, we will be accepting student for May intake as well. And regarding whether it will be online or in person, we are expecting it will be in person, but we cannot guarantee anything because the current situation is very unpredictable.
Yes, exactly, Karishma. We, as I mentioned before, we absolutely are fully hoping that we will be back for in-person sessions in January. But of course, everybody knows with COVID, it's very unpredictable. It's difficult to say what the situation will be in January. And all of our agents and students will be updated just as soon as we have more information.
Yes. Right, Shelby, thank you. Shelby, moving to the next question. Will the boarding and lodging be given by Red Deer College, and will that be fully paid by RDC?
Just to clarify, is this in relation to the quarantine period, or is this in relation to throughout the students full time at Red Deer College?
Well, they have not mentioned it, but I will appreciate if you can answer for what the conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. So at this time, we are still working out the details of how the students will go, speaking specifically about the self-isolation period. So what I can tell you at this point is that Red Deer College will make the arrangements for the students' accommodations during the 14-day self-isolation period. There may be a small cost attached to it, but it'll definitely be on purely a cost recovery basis. So we're going to make it as affordable for the students as possible. So for the 2 weeks period, including transportation from the airport, accommodations, and some basic foods for the first few days that they are there, it would be somewhere in and around a few $100s. It wouldn't be, we're trying to make it as inexpensive as possible for the students. In terms of the accommodations or the boardings for the students during their full time at Red Deer College, that would be up to the responsibility of the student to secure their own accommodations, and it is at their own expense. So if they're interested in living at Red Deer College in the residence building, they're absolutely able to apply to live in the residence, and it is very affordable. And there's more information about those rates specifically on our website. Does that answer the question, Karishma?
Yes, Shelby. Thank you so much, Shelby. Shelby, again, I'm getting a few questions regarding the math test. What is the cost of the internal math test, and can, agent can be provided with the sample test so that they can help the student, to prepare for it?
Sure. So the cost of the completing the test is $35. And what that is we use an online invigilation service. So basically what it does, it's monitors the student who is taking the test to ensure security. And that's what the small fee is for. So the student doesn't have to worry about getting their own exam proctor. We take care of that all online. And in terms of the availability of a practice test, that is something that I have to speak to the admissions team about. That's a new question for me. So please let me follow up and I'll make sure that that information gets to Monica to share out with the agent.
Thank you, Shelby. And Shelby, for early childhood program, is there any specific requirement that student need to fulfill apart from the IELTS requirement or the submitting the documents, educational documents just?
The students, there isn't any additional requirements. The student needs to be able to pass a police and a vulnerable sector check. So what that means is because the students will be working with children, they have to make sure that they don't have any police record. But beyond that, there is no additional requirements beyond the academic requirements and the English language proficiency requirements.
Okay, thank you, Shelby. Coming to the next question. They're asking about that if student, complete the 2-year diploma, then after that, to which university he can apply for the bachelor's degree. So I believe this is somewhere related to university transfer programs. So with which all university we are having a partnership?
Sure. So it depends on the program. So when the student is applying for a university transfer program, they choose which bachelor's degree they're interested in. So for example, if you want to do the Bachelor of Science, we have certain universities that we have transfer agreements with, but we have different universities that we might have transfer agreements with if it's a Bachelor of Arts. So what we recommend is when the student is starting out, that they identify the program that they want to go into, and we would help them identify what the other universities are in the province that they would have the best opportunity to transfer into. So for example, a few of them off the top of my head would be the University of Calgary and the University of Lethbridge. So what we would do for the student is help them plan out their courses to maximize the amount of transferability into those other universities. So a point of clarification is that the student still has to apply to that university in order to get in for the second and third year of their program. But by working with an advisor, they're able to design their program to maximize how much credit they got for the first 2 years that they took at Red Deer College.
Right, Shelby. And related to ECE, another question is there. What is the difference between early childhood diploma and the certificate? How they both are different?
Oh, great question. So thank you for that. The content for the first year is exactly the same. So when students enter into the program, the first year is the same. So when they're in the certificate, they exit after the first year and they go into the workforce. The second year of the program, so this would only be taken for the students that are in the diploma stream, goes into more detail about early learning and childcare development and typically allows the students to get higher level jobs once they graduate. So essentially, just to clarify, the first year of the program is the same for the certificate and the diploma. The second year of the program, which is only going to be taken by students in the diploma stream, is more in-depth information.
Okay, thank you, Shelby. Shelby, the next question is about the application fee. How much is the application fee?
The application fee is $200.
And what is the processing time for the offer letter?
The processing time is approximately 8 to 10 business days, and that is assuming that when the application is submitted, that all of the appropriate documentation is submitted as well.
Okay, thank you. And is there any core subject requirement in our programs like one we have is for the mathematics? Apart from this also, do we have a core subject requirements?
It depends on the program that the student is applying to. So I would encourage the agents to review the information that's available through our agent guide and also on our website. So what I would recommend the agent do is look at the academic requirements for the program that the student is interested in. And then we also post on our website common international course equivalencies. So the agent is able to look and see, for example, we might be looking for a 60% in an English language arts course, and the equivalent, if we state on our website what the equivalent would be from a student that has graduated from the Indian secondary schooling system.
Well, in addition to this, I would also like to remind you that we are sending a program availability list on every Monday. You guys can also refer to that particular list. There we have also mentioned, the requirement for the each program in a tabular form. That would be very helpful for you and your team as well. So shall be coming to the next question is about can we accept the open board, or, for the 12th grade students?
Sorry, can you clarify what is meant by open board, Karishma?
So one is that students have a regular classes in the, where he just go every day, he attend the classes in the school, whereas in open board student don't have to go to the classrooms, but he appear for the examination directly. So is that, that student would be acceptable at RDC if he qualifies the other requirements like the IELTS requirement, percentage requirement, or the core subject requirement for that particular program?
Yeah, as long as the student was able to provide the official transcripts from the institution that they graduated from, and we were able to verify that the final courses or the final marks in the courses that they took were up to the required standards, that I don't believe that should be an issue.
Right, Shelby, thank you. And Shelby, is there any kind of the entrance scholarship for the students, international students?
So at this time, there is no entrance scholarships. Our tuition is very reasonably and competitively priced, as well as students being able to enjoy a lower cost of living in our city. However, the students are able to apply for scholarships once they become a Red Deer College student. There's multiple scholarships that they're able to apply for.
Right, Shelby. So I just want to update everyone, the lingo requirement for our programs is 115, whereas the requirement for the IELTS indicator is same as that of the normal IELTS requirement, which is 6.5, no band less than 5.5.
Thanks, Karishma and Monica, for that. The page on the website isn't working for me right now, so thank you for pulling that up.
That is completely fine, Shelby. Shelby, the next question is about ELA 31. So, when agents or students, read such kind of requirements, sometimes they get confused. What is ELA 31 or 32?
So what that stands for in the Alberta, secondary schooling system, it stands for English Language Arts. So basically what we're looking for is, has the student taken some sort of a writing or, essay writing skills in their program when they were through secondary school, when they were in their home country. So that's what ELA stands for. It is a part of the academic requirements. It doesn't have anything to do with English language proficiency. So I'm happy to provide more information when we send out links after the Agent Summit, and the agents are able to look specifically up at where their country is and what the equivalent to ELA 30 or ELA 30-2 would be.
Right. Thank you, Shelby. So there's another question again about the math requirement. So they are asking if students have 10th math with good grades, but do not have 10+2 math. Would that be, considerable for the business administration course?
Karishma and Monica, have you had experience with that situation in terms of admissions? I'm not sure that I'm familiar with if that's been accepted in the past. That might be something I have to take back to the admissions team.
Okay, so I know we won't be able to accept the 10th grade maths because there is a difference in the level of the mathematics which we required for the business administration is actually the 10+2 grade level mathematics. So we won't be able to accept it. In addition to this, sometimes, it may come up an exclusion regarding the students who are already have studied accountancy or the, statistics in 12th grade. If they would be able to, apply for these programs, then again, note, because the level of grade 12 accountancy in India is equal to grade 10 mathematics of Alberta. So there's a difference in that particular thing. So as of now, we won't be able to accept accountancy or statistics students or 10th grade, mathematics score for this particular program.
Yes, thank you, Karishma, for clarifying that on that. And the student would still be eligible to request to take the entrance math test if that was something that they are interested in challenging in order to gain admission into the business program.
Right, Shelby. Thank you. And Shelby, there's another question: is RDC opening a Vancouver campus? And if yes, when it is, anticipated, which program will be offered? Is there any such kind of planning? Is there, Shelby?
So sorry, Krishma, I missed it. So was the question, are we opening up in person? Was that the question?
No, it is about the campus. Is RDC opening any campus in Vancouver?
Oh, so the agent is most likely referring to a public-private partnership that we have with Sterling College. So we're partnering with Sterling College in order to offer a handful of programs. So we're not opening our own campus. The programs are completely delivered through Sterling College, and it is an RDC credential, but it's delivered through Sterling. So if the agents or students are interested in those programs, they should email Sterling international@sterling.ca.
Right, Shelby. And Shelby, again, there's a question from a student, although you have a little bit answered about it, who has applied for a one-year certificate program. So the query is if he, start attending classes for September intake for the first semester, and the classes does not, in-person classes does not start for the January intake as well because of any future problems, then what options he will be having, and do he need to start the September intake online? So what exactly he can do best in this particular situation currently?
Yeah, thanks, Karishma. And I feel sympathy for the student because it is a difficult situation to be in. So the options that the student has is, as they know, that they're only able to complete 50% of their program online. So at this point, it's difficult to say with 100% certainty if we will be back for in-person session in January. Of course, the student ideally will be able to complete one semester online in the fall and will be able to complete the second half of their program during the winter semester in person. However, we're not able to guarantee that that's going to be a possibility at that time. That's definitely what we're planning and hoping for. The other option is, depending on what program it is, potentially looking to see if they could defer their start date completely to January. And then that way they could have a better assurance that they would be able to complete at least 50% of their program online. If the student would like to reach out to us to help them work through that problem, they're welcome to email me and we can discuss a little bit more about what their options would be, if I'm able to find out which specific program they're interested in.
Right, Shelby, thank you. About the fee payment deadline extension. So is there any provision to provide the deadline extension for the fee payments?
No, not at this time. So is this question related to like the tuition fees?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So the fees that won't be extended. The fee deadline is not until quite close to the start of the term. I'm just bringing it up. I believe it's August 14th. So the students do actually have quite a bit of time in order to complete the full payment of their fees. So really the fee deadline is only 2 weeks before the start of class, so we're not able to extend it any further.
Right. Thank you, Shelby. Coming to the next question, Shelby, what is the refund policy at RDC?
Refund for courses?
Just imagine if student get refusal, then how much amount will be refundable, or if he himself voluntarily, just don't attend the classes or want to drop out from the program. In that case, what would be the refund policies?
Okay, thanks for clarifying. So if the student is denied their study permit, they are eligible to receive a partial refund. So out of their tuition deposit, that would be $1,400. The only thing that they would lose would be $400 for a cancellation fee. If the student just changes their mind, they will lose their $1,400 tuition deposit.
Okay, thank you. And Shelby, the next question is, would the student with a stage 1 approval will be able to study online without having e-visa?
Yes, yes. If the student has the stage 1 approval with the new IRCC 2-step approval process, they are able to begin their studies online in September. It's just important to note, I would encourage the student to read the full announcement that was put out by IRCC. There's a couple of important pieces of information. So it is important for prospective students to note that commencing their studies online from abroad following the approval in principle does not guarantee that they will receive a full approval of their study permit application. So it's really important for them to still make sure they're submitting a strong and complete application as much as possible. But if they have the stage 1 approval in principle, they are able to start in the fall, which is a great opportunity for students who were worried and struggling about how to get their study permits. Absolutely.
Right. Thank you, Shelby. Shelby, the next question is again about the university transfer program. What is the minimum IELTS requirement for the UTP program? And will student be getting the offer letter combined stating it is for university transfer, or it will be just mentioning the RTC only?
So the requirements to get into the university programs, university transfer programs, depend on which program that they choose. So there's multiple university transfer programs listed on our website, and each of them should be addressed specifically depending on which the student is interested in. And the letter of acceptance will only indicate their acceptance to Red Deer College. So as I stated earlier, the student will still need to apply to whatever university they are planning to transfer to. So for example, they want to do 2 years at Red Deer College, they're accepted into Red Deer College, and then when they're approaching the end of their second year, they need to apply to attend the University of Alberta and gain a second acceptance from that university.
Right, Shelby. Shelby, I think there is some confusion with the refund policy. Again, I'm getting the question, will RDC refund the tuition deposit in case of the visa refusal? So
Yes.
And how much is the administration fee, Shelby, which will be deducted from the tuition deposit?
It's $400. So if the student, I'll just go through an example really quickly to add some clarity. If the student pays their $1,400, $1,400 tuition deposit, and then after that they are denied their study permit, what they would do is they would email us a copy of their denial letter, and we would send them a refund of $1,000. So the cancellation fee is $400, but they would get the majority of their tuition deposit back.
Right. Thank you, Shelby. So I cannot see more questions here. I believe we have answered most of the questions. Okay, I get one more. If a student with stage 1 approval and studied in India for 6 months, and after that get a rejection on visa, so how much amount will be deducted?
Deducted off of what? Like, so after they've already studied and then they get?
Okay, so what is like Shelby now, because IRCC have said that with stage 1 approval, student can start the online classes.
Yeah.
For the stage 2, if he get the refusal and he already started the online program for September, in that case, how much amount will be refunded to the student?
Okay, I understand. So if the students already started their program and they've already been in the program for, let's say, 6 months, there wouldn't be a refund. We have no control over if the study permit is denied. So if the student finds out about their denial prior to starting classes, they're eligible for a refund. But if they pass the add drop date, which is in October, then they would no longer be eligible for a refund.
Right, Shelby.
Thank you for that question to clarify.
Right, Shelby. Thank you so much, Shelby. And another question is about the fee structure of early childhood diploma and certificate program. So again,
Sure.
I believe there's some confusion regarding the fee structure, how it will go if student firstly, apply for the certificate and for the diploma.
Sure. So we would recommend that at the time, if the student is interested in the early learning and childcare programs, they make a decision at the time when they're applying if they're interested in the 1-year or the 2-year program. If they're interested in the 2-year program, they should apply directly into the early learning and childcare diploma. If they think they only want to do the 1-year program, they should apply for the early learning and childcare certificate. That would be the best way to go about it. In terms of cost, the early learning and childcare certificate for the 1-year costs for approximately $14,000. And that's for the 1-year program. The student would be able to split that up and pay one term at a time if they wished. And for the full 2-year early learning and childcare diploma, so this would be the cost for 2 years together, it would be approximately $31,000. Does that answer the question, Karishma?
Yes, Shelby. That answers my question. And Shelby, just imagine if the students, started the online program for September intake with the first stage approval, and then he got the refusal. Would he able to complete that particular course because he has already paid for that particular, semester?
It's an interesting question. I believe they should be able to complete the program that they had paid for, but they would likely not be able to continue on if they had been denied their study permit, would be my assumption of how that would work at this point.
Right, Shelby. Yes, at least because in that situation, at least student will be getting some, transcript or something which he can use, later on the stages.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yes. So here, I believe, Shelby, we have answered all the questions from, our agents and students. So I believe we can now, wrap up with our today's session. Before going forward, I would just like to, introduce the team members we are having. So to our, pyramid. We are having an Monica with us as an admission and support executive who is actually going to support you with the complete admission process. And the email ID is support@rdc.ab.ca. And I believe she's already in touch with you guys for all the queries or emails you are, providing us. And now we are also having our, manager for marketing in India. He's Jay Ahi, and he just joined us. So very soon he will be, get in touch with you for any kind of the support for the marketing or for the webinars, Facebook Live as of now. And when the situation would be good, then definitely for the education fair and in-person meetings as well. So Shelby, before we wrap up, do you like to say something to our agent and our students?
Yeah, absolutely. So just sincerely thank you so much for the agents and the students who have attended the session here today. I hope you found it helpful. We would love to have you come to Red Deer College. For the students that are in attendance and for the agents, thank you for your work in promoting Red Deer College and for your time here this morning. And I'd also just like to thank the MSM team, Karishma, Jay, Monica, Dolly, everybody who has worked behind the scenes to make this Premium MSM eSummit a success. Thank you so much for all of your work, and I invite you to reach out to any team member if you have any questions, or we'd love to hear from everybody on the ground. So please just reach out at any time, and thank you so much for being here with us this morning.
Thank you, Shelby. And I would also like to thank all the participants to participating in this exclusive MSM and RDC Premium Agent Summit. And we really appreciate that you being here. We hope this session was very helpful and informative enough for everyone here. And until the next one, please take care, stay safe, stay healthy, and remain connected. Thank you so much.